watching the world singing in my language, it's just a blessing.
Daddy Yankee disappeared from the music scene after becoming an icon of Latin music in the 2000s, but what he has recently decided to do will shock you. In March of this year, the Despacito singer announced that he would be retiring from music. In a statement obtained by Billboard, he announced that he would be retiring from music following the release of his last album, Legend Daddy. He said that he would be signing off in the music business by giving his fans his best production and his best concert tour. He added that he was saying goodbye by celebrating his 32 years of experience with his last album. The album would include all the styles that define Daddy Yankee in one release. While many fans were devastated to hear that the reggaeton pioneer was leaving music behind, it was his next move that really caught everyone's attention, and you will not believe what it was. Daddy Yankee retired from music to devote his life to Christianity. He announced the news at the final concert of his farewell tour in Puerto Rico this month. He told his audience that it was the most important day of his life and continued by explaining to them that he had come to a huge realization that living a life of success was not the same as living a life of purpose. His announcement, which was translated by NBC News, ended with him revealing that he would be moving forward publicly by readopting his birth name, Raymond Ayala. In an Instagram message a few days later, he wrote that this was the end of one chapter and the beginning of a brand new one. The post caption also contained lines from the Bible. They read, "For what good is it for a man to gain the whole world if he loses his life?" And unlike other pop stars, Daddy Yankee was taking this really seriously. For one thing, it was estimated that his last tour could have earned him as much as $120 million. But by turning his back on the opportunity to keep performing, Daddy Yankee showed that his conversion was real. And although he's only 46 years old, he was turning his back on music for good to serve God. And this is actually a much bigger deal than you might think, as the artist formerly known as Daddy Yankee was such a hugely important and influential figure in modern pop music. He helped to launch the popularity of the Latin music genre reggaeton, which has since become possibly the most popular form of Latin music ever. In 2006, Time magazine ranked the singer as one of his top hits. Despacito topped the charts in almost 50 countries and went on to become one of the most watched YouTube music videos of all time. According to CelebrityNetWorth.com, he is believed to be worth up to a staggering $50 million. With so much success and crazy wealth already, it kind of makes sense for Daddy Yankee to feel he doesn't need to pursue music anymore. But many were still shocked by the decision at such a young age when Daddy Yankee seemed to still have so much more to give. Fellow Latin music performer Pedro Quills commented to explain why Daddy Yankee was drawn to God over more success. The former member of Latin music group Some by Four was talking on EWTN Global Catholic Radio about Daddy Yankee's news, and what he said was pretty incredible. He said that Daddy Yankee's decision demonstrated that Jesus Christ calls on all levels, on all environments, in the heart of every man. He went on to say that the call was more powerful than the grip that the world may have, and that there was no other explanation for leaving everything. Pedro added that he understood the call of God working in the heart of Daddy Yankee. In his own post on Instagram, Daddy Yankee explained that he recognized that he was not ashamed to tell the whole world that Jesus Christ lives in him, and that now he will live for Jesus Christ. He also added that all the tools in his possession, such as music, social media platforms, and a microphone, were now for the kingdom. So although he might be leaving his art ambitions behind, he has hinted that making music will be a part of his plans, and he will now use it in a totally different way, leaving his hit songs like Gasolina in the past. His social media posts about his massive change in the directions of his life attracted a lot of online comments, and it was overwhelmingly positive. One follower replied, "We love you, brother. Welcome to the family. With all the trials that are coming, rest assured we are all behind you and praying for you." Another praised Daddy Yankee for doing something that not many in his position could do, and added that despite changing his life, he would always be the king of reggaeton. Although it's true that not many have chosen to do what Daddy Yankee has done, he is not the first pop star to choose God over chart success. 90s rapper Mace also decided to swap music for church after dropping his popular Harlem World album in 1997. Like Daddy Yankee, he declared that he wanted to pursue a calling from God during an interview with Funk Master Flex in 1999. Another famous musician who changed his whole life after finding religion was Korn co-founder and guitarist Brian Welch. He walked away from the spotlight and became a born-again Christian in 2005. However, he later rejoined the metal band for a performance in 2012 and officially returned to Korn more in the following year. Despite returning, Brian said that leaving the band gave him some of the best years of his life, and he was able to make precious memories with his daughter. Daddy Yankee, on the other hand, looks unlikely to flip-flop on his decision, and shortly after the news, he is already using his time to right old wrongs. It was reported after his announcement that his infamous rival with fellow reggaeton star Don Omar had finally come to an end. Various artists had reacted to Daddy Yankee's news to show support, including Yando and Baby Rasta. And on December 12th, it was Don's turn to offer an olive branch. He wrote that they were closing the book that held the best chapters of their controversial rivalry. He also thanked Daddy Yankee for his words and for listening to Don's words from the heart. Don wished his old enemy the best for him and his family and thanked him for his competitive spirit, but more than that, he thanked Daddy Yankee for what he did for the music they both loved. In response, Daddy Yankee wrote a message on Instagram. He said that both he and Don were an example that we may have differences, but there will always be room for forgiveness. He added that Don had been a great adversary and that he would never stop recognizing everything Don had done for their movement. He also added that he finally felt calm and at peace knowing that both men were leaving their feuds behind them. He wrote that he hoped that their last round would be against the enemy of the souls battling together in the army of the Lord. More than nearly anything else, squashing his beef with Don showed just how different Daddy Yankee's life was about to become, but it wasn't the first time that the star has completely changed his hopes and dreams. And the story of his first redirection was really crazy. When he was young, Daddy Yankee aspired to be a professional basketball player. In fact, he even tried out for the MLB side of the Seattle Mariners, but a shocking turn of events forced him to reassess his life goals. Before he could officially be signed, he was shot by a stray round from an AK-47. He then spent about a year and a half recovering from his injuries, and the bullet has never actually been removed from his hip. Although this left his baseball dreams in tatters, Daddy Yankee was able to see it as a blessing, as it allowed him to change course and focus fully on making a success out of himself as a musician. And with that kind of mindset, there's no doubt that his last calling would be just as fruitful for him, and it's unlikely that he is going to regret walking away from his career to serve a higher purpose. But what do you guys think? Did Daddy Yankee make the right choice? Let me know in the comments below.